Anti-aircraft weapon systems are extremely difficult to use in Armored Brigade. Not only that, they're kind of tricky to use as well, because at one moment they'll be dominating the battle space against fixed-wing aircraft, but in the next moment they'll get completely dominated by rotary wing aircraft. And what I mean by rotary wing is your standard helicopters. And the reason for that is the helos operate at an altitude between 8 and 50 meters, so the line of sight rules are really going to punish you if your units are not in the correct position. In this video, you're going to see exactly that, me getting punished by a bunch of enemy Hinds, and our general air defense bubble collapsing in upon itself. So a few rules to understand before we get started is all your anti-aircraft systems are dependent on line of sight, just like all your other units are, which means they can't see through hills, they can't see through dense buildings or lots of trees. So, and that goes especially true for when they're facing off against rotary helicopters or rotary wing aircraft helicopters. So, as you see here, what we're going to do is we're going to zoom way far out, and we're going to take a look at our spotting ranges. Our spotting ranges, if you look at these words down below, we have hide spotting ranges, then we have J, it brings up a purple circle, that's our ground spotting range, and if we bring it up one more time, that's our air spotting range, and then we hit it once more, we get both circles, which is both air and ground. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to analyze our weapon systems. So we're going to click on our SAM system, and we're going to click on this eye right here. I go over this a lot, but it's important to understand our range of our weapon system, which is 6,000 meters, and the likelihood of it hitting, which down here is 85%. So if we were to go to our Vulcan right here, our 20 millimeter cannon, we can see that this has a range of 2,000 meters. And if we go to our man pad right here, and we click on our question mark, and we click on our anti-aircraft missile, 4,000 meters and a 60% chance of hitting. That's all important when facing off not only rotary wing systems, but also fixed wing. Because as you know, if your aircraft systems are too far back, while you will score a hit on an enemy aircraft, it's probably already dropped its munitions on your units, and they're already suffered casualties. So ours are pretty far up, but that's just to display how badly they're going to do against these rotary wing. And up here, we forgot to move our units. That's fine. We have a few aircraft systems down here in the back. We're going to move them forward. It'll take quite a bit of time for them to get into position. I'm not overly concerned about it. But the one thing we're going to check on is we're going to try and get them into good line of sight positions. I don't think there's really that many in this position. Originally, I wanted them up here because, as you see, we got a fantastic line of sight over the map. But we're going to have to settle with coming down here. So we're going to speed the gameplay up a little bit because I want to get those helos on deck, and let's slow back down. So right here, what's going on? This helicopter right now is operating at between 8 and 50 meters, which means it's bobbing below treetops and then going back up above treetops. Our current ground units can see them, but our other weapon systems... Ooh, he's about to take a rocket. Sad day. Our other weapon systems, our AAA, cannot see them at this moment in time. So if we grab our line of sight tool, so even though we have radar warning systems and all of that fancy nonsense and radars, these units cannot see these helicopters, but these helicopters are able to view these AAA systems. So what that means is when you're facing off against an opponent with a lot of helicopters, positioning your AAA is going to be extremely challenging. And it's going to be more of an art and less of a science because you're going to need to figure out where the line of sight is, assume where they're sending it in. And honestly, you're going to be more reliant on your ground forces at eliminating helicopters because there's no way these forces are going to get into a good position to easily get line of sight on that unit. But we're going to speed it up a little bit. We're going to unclick slow. We're hoping our SAMs, if we just stop moving, will pick up on these units and just stop and hopefully launch a SAM missile at that very obvious target with the radar. But more than likely, they will not. All right, we begin targeting. Let's pause real quick. One thing I want to take a look at. So we have our targeting circle. We have 1, 2, 3. Is this unit still moving? Delete last waypoint. I don't want you moving anymore. You as well. No one move. We're going to click on this unit right here. We're going to go to their weapon systems. All right, in place time, 30 seconds. That's something we were completely missing. 5 seconds time to fire. So this unit's not going to engage that aircraft for another 30 seconds. So until he stops, which we're doing, which this unit is doing right here, we see 30 seconds emplacement time, 4-second aim time, 2-second time to fire. 36 seconds before this unit is going to engage this aircraft. Right now, this rotary wing, or helo, is already full engagement mode, destroying all our units. So let's go back to slow, resume. This unit slowly becomes suppressed, loses line of sight, and possibly won't launch any SAMs. So right now we're sitting at 40 seconds. All our units, eyes on hind, standing by to launch. This is the only one that is not. We have 2 Vulcan cannons with a 2,000 meter range. We have lost this unit. It's heavy damage, immobilized, and suppressed. So we need these Vulcan cannons to begin engaging. And this unit's obviously going to be destroyed. That 36 seconds right there, that poor positioning, constant movement, pretty much cost that unit its life. But we still have a lot of units on the battlefield, and this is what's quite strange. As you see, we are currently targeting this unit, and it's been way more than 30 seconds. Let's see. Full speed, missile out. SAMs are spotting as well. SAMs begin spotting. They should be well in place at this moment in time. This unit's adjusting fire, and this is what I mean. This is extremely, extremely challenging to use against rotary. So you'll completely dominate. Oh, all right, first fire out. Returning. That's outstanding. Destroyed. SAM out. SAM out. And so a lot of these AAA aircraft, or AAA, is really, really, really going to be dependent on your setup time. And so that's something you really, really need to watch. So these units, your AAA really needs to be in place before any of these rotary wing helicopters show up. And if you move them, it's going to be another 40 seconds before they even put a shot off. So those are all things you really, really need to consider. So anytime your AAA is moving around the battlefield, it's going to lose precious time. Basically, those helos came in, our AAA was on the move, easily eliminated, sitting duck targets, all because they were moving on the battlefield. So that's just the basic overview of how to utilize AAA on the battlefield. I hope that's a bit clear. I want this video to be quick. You're not going to have such a rough time against fixed wing, but anytime rotary shows up, you're definitely going to have a bit of a rough time. All right, guys, that's the video. Peace out.